What does middle class even mean? Welcome to Paradigm Shift. My name is Patrick Buffy. Here, we teach you how to dramatically improve the quality of your life. Today, we are going to be looking at 5 signs you are no longer middle class. 5 signs you are no longer middle class. You see, most people are so content with living in a middle class lifestyle. But are you middle class? See, you might think you are until you dig deeper. What does middle class even mean these days? Pew Research Center defines middle class as having an income that is 2 tiers to double the national income. And what is national income? Let's take 2024, for instance. 2024, the first quarter, the national median income was 1,139 a week. So if we take 52 weeks, it's going to be 59,228. So according to the formula, if you are making less than 39,505, you are technically considered as a low-income household. And if you earn more than 118,456, you are upper class. So you see, if you make 98,000 to 118,000, you are middle class. So even most people are making more than that, but still our minds tells us that we are still in middle class. And what does middle class means in this country? Middle class means you are constantly in debt. You are buying for stuff that you can afford them, houses, cars that you can afford them. So even though we're making more than that, we still have that mindset. That's the reason why it's so good for us to know if we are out of there so that we can start thinking differently. So let's look at the things that the 5 signs that shows that we are no longer middle class. Number one is your income has doubled in the past few years. You see, perhaps you have spent the past few years boosting your skills, networking, within your industry, trying to chase promotion. Most people even took advantage of COVID, where they stay at home, they develop themselves, their profession. They try to, some of them even change their profession to make sure they are getting more income. And if your hard work, you went through that process, and your hard work has resulted in notable pay boost to the point where you are, double your income in few years, that means in this case, you may not be middle class. But like I said, even though we've done that and getting more money, our brain is still letting us sit in the middle class mentality. And what is middle class? Constantly in debt, buying for stuff we can't afford. Number two, your only debt is your mortgage. You see, middle class household often have to take or they have to go in debt to cover some basic expenses, or they have to, a portion of their expenses is debt, especially in recent years, given the impact of inflation. So if the only debt you have is mortgage, then it might be that you are no more middle class. All right, let's take this case for example. Between 2022 and 2023, US credit card balances rose from 931 billion to a whopping 1.05 trillion, according to TransUnion. So again, if the only debt you are carrying is your mortgage, and you can pay all your expenses, which what is coming in without even a portion of it going to credit card or debt, then officially you are no more middle class. So start thinking like that if you are in that situation. Number three, you are able to save for retirement. This is key. You are able to save for retirement. You see, you're able to save, if you're able to save a large portion of your income for retirement, then it might be that you are no you are earning more enough money to move from the middle class. See, Vanguard reports that as of 2023, 401ks, average 401k participant contributed a historic high of 7.4% of their salary to their account. That is huge. You see, on average middle class income, many workers struggle even to fund retirement. To begin with, how much say let alone saving high or higher percentage of their salary than the typical worker. So if now you have enough to put in your retirement that like you used to do, that means you are no more middle class. Number 4, having having a passive income. You see, when we talk of income, it is not just salary. Many people have outside income sources that they can rely on, from rental properties to investment portfolios that pay regular dividends. Others also have CDs, or maybe money at high account that pay them high interest, depending on the interest rate we are in, situation we are in now. So more people get, even though they put money in a high yield account, and get more interest on it. So these are stuff that also get them income. If you earn large enough passive income, than more than what your employer pays you, then you are out of that situation. I mean, you are no more middle class. So check that out. And last but not least, number 5 is you are actively taking steps to reduce your taxes. You see, middle class people don't, or middle class folks do not worry about taxes. The only time they worry about taxes is when it's time to file. It's January, it's February, all the way up to February. That's the only time they think about taxes. You see, but if you're actively taking steps, either on your own or through accountant, to lower your tax burden, then it might be that you make more money or you make more money high enough to go beyond the middle class. Because the more you make, the more your taxes go up. So the moment you start thinking, oh, I'm paying too much on taxes, that means you are, getting there. See, these tax strategies might be including maxing out retirement plans, or taking losses on investment to offset capital gains. And not that alone, even sometimes, small ordinary incomes. You're trying to make sure you're doing everything to make sure your tax burdens are reduced, and also increasing charitable contribution. Then you are out of middle class. So you are no longer middle class. Now what? You see, you may no longer be middle class worker, even if you assume you are. But remember, having an upper class income doesn't help you if you don't manage it well, right? So to the end, don't commit yourself too much to large expenses, because you can technically afford them. See, that's when lifestyle creeps set in. You make more money, you still have middle class mentality, and what do you do? Anytime you make more money, you change your car. Now you're paying 500 in your car, you make more money, you'll get increment, you change the car, now you're paying 1,000. You change your house, you're paying 3,000 a month. Now you're going for a house, now you pay 4,000. So even though you're out of it, you're still thinking middle class mentality. So if you do not manage the money wisely, you will not feel it, because you're still constantly buying yourself or committing yourself to expensive things. You see, housing is most Americans' largest recurring expenses, and make sure if you put yourself in a position where your take home money is 30 or more percent goes to your house, you will struggle. It doesn't matter how much you're making. So make sure you aim at least making sure that no more than 30%, I would say even 25% is going towards that. You should also make sure to aim to live an area where you can, where your income can go further. You see, sometimes you make a lot of money, but there are some places you can't live. For example, cities where not just houses, but even food and transportation are so expensive. You have to be where they are affordable that you can afford them. Let's give an example for, I'll use Denver, for example. Denver, um, let's say Denver, for example, the average house value for Denver is about 574,826. See, that's way, according to Zillow, that is way above the national average, which is 363,438. So if you live in such a place, even if you've gone past the middle income, you might not feel it because you're paying more on your house. So try to make sure you stay in cities where you can afford them. When you don't want to put a lifestyle creep in between. So in conclusion, it feel good to reach the point where you are no longer middle class, but it's important to put yourself in the right settings so you make also so your money can go far. This is Patrick Buffy. Make sure you spend wisely, save intentionally, and be generous. See you.